It's week 2 of the National Football League, and if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Panthers and the Giants, and it's all up next.
From the stadium that hosted Super Bowl 48 back in 2014, there's a look at MetLife Stadium here in East Rutherford. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants. Brandon Gaudin with my good friend Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at the Panthers in this matchup, and this is going to be a heck of a chess match. This offense against a defense that will take no prisoners out there.
It's going to be a big-time battle, and I think that both of these teams have that mindset of, we're going to do what we do and make the other guys react to us. And we've definitely got a couple of headstrong coordinators who won't back down from a challenge. So this will be a battle of wits as much as it'll be a battle of brawn.
The final weekend of the summer. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are as we are off and running on EA Sports. Taking in at the 3. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
Holding, receiving.
So already not the best of kick returns there, but that penalty, that adds insult to injury and backs him up even closer to the goal line.
Yeah, not ideal field position to begin a drive, is it? Because the extra pressure now goes on the offense. They've got to get some early yards and get away from the shadow of their own goalposts. What every offense wants to do in this situation, get 2 first downs to help out with field position at the least.
And oh, right away, he lost the football. And the Panthers have recovered. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolded.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've coughed it up, you got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
So now here are the Panthers with excellent field position to start off. With former MVP in his 12th season leading them out, he's got more rushing touchdowns than any quarterback in NFL history, Cam Newton.
And he certainly had his share of struggles in the opener, threw a couple of ill-timed interceptions in the game. So that was something that was harped upon all week in practice. Because if he's going to help this team be a winning one, he can't give the football away like he did last week.
Following the fumble recovery, Newton. He's got the connection to Moore. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line. We'll get a pause here. There appears to be a Panther who is shaken up on that last play. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. They'll run out of the gun. It's Hubbard. The tackle is made by Adoree Jackson. They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal.
That's a very nice game there. A confidence-building run. Love the execution up front, and the way he pressed the hole, absolutely perfect.
First and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. Now it's Newton. Touchdown, Panthers. DJ Moore, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Panthers take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Well, that's just how they drew it up, CD. His first read was there, got it to him quickly, and into the end zone.
Absolutely excellent execution by all involved. And the coordinator, got to give him credit, found the perfect play call. Quarterback let it fly as soon as the target came free, and his guy made a nice catch. just how you draw it up in practice and then execute it in the game.
Piñeiro's extra point up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fields it right around the goal line. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. He's got to clear his mind a little bit right now. One carry, and that carry was a lost fumble.
Clear his mind, clear his hands, and just let this one go. Sometimes it happens. You drop the ball. Got a full game ahead of him. Hand it to him again. See if they can start to produce.
And he tries to keep the legs churning, but he's going to be stopped behind the line.
Sometimes I think these defensive tackles get a little bit of a bum rap. We just see them as big guys that eat up blockers for others to make tackles. Oftentimes they're quicker than they get credit for. And this time he uses quickness to make a play.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. On the draw, this is Barkley. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1. Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. This one goes out wide for Barkley. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 17 yards and a giant first down. And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Throwing, Jones. That's complete to Robinson. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4. Now Jones. Got a man, that's Richie James. 2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Again, he'll drop to throw. As this complete to Daniel Bellinger. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line. They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
Here's the first carry from Matt Breida. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They run again with Breida. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready to roll for the 2nd quarter from MetLife Stadium. The Giants with the football as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. Jones with a handoff to Barkley. And Barkley did not get there. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Brian Dable reaching for that challenge flag, and he's going to have the officials review this call.
The previous play is under review.
The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just trying to get the right sight line to the football. That's not always easy. We'll see what they decide here.
So that review working out well for Brian Dable. He wins that challenge. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. Darius Slayton, 29 yards. And the Giants are an extra point away from evening this one up. The fly route works for the TD Graham.
And you know what the receivers love to say? If we get even with the defender, we're leaving. And that's exactly what he did, all the way into the end zone. And then he was on the business end catching it once he got over the stripe.
Graham Gano on for the extra point. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. So that drive, 12 plays in length, and it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Taken in at the 3. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Panthers coming back out onto the field for their second drive. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Here's Newton. Flush to his right. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've got ourselves a ball game, and those guys on defense, they came to play. Slipped up on their first series, but they're definitely settling in now and letting it be known the points won't come so easy again.
So on 4th down, here's Johnny Hecker to punt it away. Here's Jackson to return. A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. The New York set to take the field. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously.
Now Jones is hit. He lost the football. And the Panthers have recovered. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand, but put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Following the fumble recovery, Newton, and a little floater there is incomplete. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, Newton. This is Chenault on the receiving end. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a 1st down.
LaVisca Chenault, here's a name that a lot of teams league-wide have kept eyes on. Flown a bit under the radar through his first 2 seasons, but he has produced 600 yards in each as a target eater. Not hard to see why the league remains high on him, especially when he makes catches like that.
They'll run with Foreman. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Dexter Lawrence finding his way through defensively for the stop.
Oftentimes when you see a running back get bunched up in the backfield, it's usually because the defensive tackle is eating up blockers for others to make the play. Not in this case.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. A shotgun snap for Newton. Throw left side complete. That's Hubbard. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. 5 in the secondary now for the Giants here on 3rd. Here's Newton. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Eddie Pinheiro on now. From the right hash. This from 45 yards away. The kick by Pinheiro is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So able to force the fumble, but then they really couldn't move the football, Charles, and they get 3 points out of it.
And they made sure they got something out of that takeaway, didn't they? Because even if they couldn't put it in the end zone, they were not going to turn the ball back to them without putting something on the scoreboard.
And we see James, he will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over.
Now this offense hoping to avoid the 0-2 start. They trail, but they've got a 1st and 10 here. He's going to let this one go deep. He's got a man complete. It's a big-time play there for the G-men. And even 40 yards. Now the Giants will use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Back to throw again. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And they're going to get this down inside the 20. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right.
And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss. This offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot. And here, another sack.
All game long, we've seen missed assignments, which have led to turnovers, sacks. This group has not played well at all here in the first half.
Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. Gano's kick is good, and that will knot us up at 10. That was perfect. From distance, he steps up, knocks it right down Main Street.
And Main Street's celebrating right now with a good thing. All the mechanics of the whole thing. Snap, hold, everything was right on target, and the blocking was perfect, and he executed so well.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. He'll take the knee, and the final couple seconds will tick by in this first half. So thanks to the late field goal, we are all tied up heading to intermission as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach!
All right, this is your halftime report. First, we travel to New Orleans, where Tom Brady and the Bucs, 2nd down. Tom Brady throws a touchdown pass to Mike Evans to start the scoring. And that one, the Bucs take the early lead, 6-0. Extra point is up and good. Tom Brady again in the second quarter would throw a nice pass to Chris Godwin, and that one would go for 6. 13-0 ball game now. The extra point that followed is up and good. One play for a touchdown. And the Saints would only be able to kick a field goal late in the second half to make that 14-3, and that one would go to halftime 14-3, Bucks on top. In Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence in the first minute of the game throws an interception to Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore picks off Trevor Lawrence in the first minute. And they would take that pick and turn it into 6 points when the offense would take over. Josh Dobbs passes to Mo Alley-Cox for the touchdown. And other than that interception that led to the touchdown, that game has been really quiet. They would kick this PAT, but other than that, that one would go to halftime 7-0. A very quiet game.
Now time for a check of the next-gen stats in the first half for Carolina. And there's not much to speak of in terms of passing efficiency. But in a tie game, they know a few tweaks could make a big difference going forward. Meanwhile, for the Giants, we get a look at their numbers on the ground in that first half, as they'll be looking to rev things up here in a tie ball game.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic. No need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Newton. He's got his tight end. It's Tommy Tremble. First target, first catch, and a first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Cam's throw complete there to Thomas. From the 39-yard line, here comes 2nd down and 6. Now Foreman. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Now Newton. This pass complete to Higgins. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. The drive stays alive. A 3rd down gain of 8.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. 2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. A carry for Foreman. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. Again, it's Foreman. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Newton now to throw. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off by Aaron Robinson. And the Giants will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Here's Jones. Throwing on first down. He dumps it off to Barkley. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by J.C. Horn. Charles, in a tie game, you always wonder who's going to be making the big plays. Right now, it's not the offensive players. We're seeing these defenses step up and take control. Both of the last two drives have ended with interceptions.
They are certainly dictating this game, aren't they? Now it's going to come down to which offense can follow their defense's lead and step up in the clutch themselves.
Here's Foreman. Brought down on the play by Kayvon Thibodeau. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Newton now to throw. Open man is Higgins. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Newton to throw. They'll run the screen with Hubbard. Good contain, no gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And I know that one didn't work out the way they thought, but I don't think it was a bad time to call this play. You're thinking on 3rd down, you might possibly see some pressure. You might see a blitz. So they tried to set up the screen, but that one was well read, and they stopped them from no gain.
So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out, and he is going to need to bomb this one. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. Charles, even as long field goals become more and more common, this is still very rarefied air. Only just over 20 field goals have been kicked from 60 yards or further, and you can add his name to the list now.
And as calm as he tried to present himself, there's no doubt there were some nerves as he lined up to attempt that kick. But once the ball was snapped, he just swept the leg and boom, over the crossbar.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. A good action to this point in the 3rd quarter. Just a 3-point game. 2nd and 10. Jones fakes the give to Barkley. To the sideline, and it's caught, but boy, he's out of bounds. Well, they tried to get him into space coming out of the backfield, but it'll be 3rd down. And Charles, this infraction is going to be against the offense. False start.
Sometimes you have to get up to the line of scrimmage, make sure your team is set before you begin your cadence.
Andrew Thomas, former first-rounder from Georgia, called for the penalty there. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. Back to throw. Jones. Yetur Gross-Matos able to put an end to that play, and in so doing puts an end to this 3rd quarter. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. He'll take it at the 42. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Panthers will take over in terrific field position. The possession of the football goes over to Carolina. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. On first down, Foreman. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave him 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Back to throw, Newton. That'll be caught right side, Chenault with it. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on first and second downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now a handoff up the middle. Foreman. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. They run again with Foreman. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. And it's a fake. He's going to throw it. And this one will not work out. It is incomplete. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. And the Giants are going to get the football back.
I remember being taught that cliches have become so for a reason. A lot of times they're true, right? What's that they used to tell us about letting sleeping dogs lie? Well, this one wasn't sleeping. Maybe it was just slumbering a little bit. But taking that gamble there, you've got the lead. You may have ignited them now if they stopped you.
That's exactly right. If you take the points here, you don't shift momentum necessarily on that play. You probably just did. From the 31, Jones throwing the out route incomplete. It's James. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Throwing, Jones. Throws to his man on the out route. It's complete. That's Robinson. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. A quick pass here. He's got Shepard. And he will have a Giants 1st down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. Now Jones. Eluding the pressure right. And he wisely will throw that one away. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw is Jones. Catch made by Slayton. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And this one dropped in the end zone. Looked like a touchdown, but not to be. And now it's 4th down. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. And we are all tied here in the final stages. We've seen some big kicks in the NFL the last few years, and that one might just rank right up there.
And you know you can hear the crowd react, right? But I was focused in on the sideline and watched them absolutely erupt. I don't know how many of them thought that he was actually going to make that kick, but how about how they felt when the ball went over the post?
Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. Well, partner, here it is. They've got the chance to win the game. You'd have to think they need to get it near the opposite 40 to have a chance to kick a game-winning field goal. We'll see what they can do.
And you're right about that, because if we look at it in macro, that's what it looks like. But I think in micro, the head coach has already asked the special teams coach, what is he feeling? What does he think? Where does he want the football? What's the yard line we have to get? And he's already relayed that to his quarterback and his offense. They know what the goal is. Now the key, can they get there?
This one caught downfield by Higgins. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game. They'll run on 1st down. Foreman, and he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They'll keep it on the ground. Foreman. And this will be a gain of 6 when it's all said and done, down to the 15 from the 21. Now another timeout called for by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. On 3rd down, Foreman. And this won't be enough. Stopped a yard short after a gain of 3. 4th down. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to take the lead here in the final minute. This is up and good from Pinheiro. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. He hasn't missed a kick all year. Why would he start now?
That's a great question, isn't it? Well, maybe because that was the most nerve-wracking kick he had to attempt all year. But he knocked it through just like it was an easy chip shot.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Jones. And oh, that one nearly intercepted. That would have sealed it. Instead, it'll be 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Jones. Pass complete to Shepard. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. And a fun, close ball game comes to an end. On that last play, Charles, they were on the wrong side of midfield. They needed something near a miracle, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the effort, that was good. Very good, in fact. They were just a little too far out to get a decent look at the end zone for that last opportunity. Couldn't get it done, but a nice game overall.
So for the Panthers, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll return home next week to take on the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for the Giants, they'll drop to 0-2, and they will get a home date next week as they will take on the Dallas Cowboys.